Live from New York. Just hear me out. No.
We gonna hear you out.
Yeah, you got
2 hours to explain
You've
yourself.
made the exact same mistake 2 years in a row.
Get a bucket.
You've made the exact
Go to the rim and get a bucket.
So that's what Brew was saying.
Get a bucket.
And you
Get
know
a
what
layup.
Wilds was
Old
saying?
school basketball.
You know what Wilds was saying?
Not
They do
uncontested.
what they do. Shoot threes.
Miss?
And then
Miss?
Mitt
That's
Brew.
what they do.
You don't follow him on Twitter, but if you did,
Good, Kevin Wilds.
he tweeted all caps.
DES.
Go to the hoop.
It's like screaming
Almost
on social
like
media.
it's what
I
you've
have
been
a theory
saying.
on that. I'll get
Okay.
to it later.
All right, you get to it at the
get to
top
it.
of the show.
Today,
I'll get to it later.
we're starting with just an absolute disaster of historic proportions in Boston. The Celtics blow another 20-point lead while going over 8 minutes without a bucket.
This
Here's
was
the
a good
final play of the
possession.
game. I don't even know what this was.
Brew, that wasn't mid-range. I do.
A mid-range what?
He didn't know what he wanted
He
to
had
do.
no clue.
That's the.
Mitchell Robinson is doing great, to his credit. Tatum,
So is Bridges.
Bridges was good in the fourth quarter. Tatum was bad the entire game. So here's the biggest takeaway here.
He had those 14 rebounds you liked so
Enough
much in
with the
game one.
rebounds.
That was
Ben Wallace,
that's
worst
what we were saying.
field goal percentage in a 2-game span of Tatum's entire career, under 29%. Is this loss
happens to be in the play.
on Tatum? It's not great.
Can we show that? I want to share my theory quickly. Show that last play that Tatum had.
Okay.
Because I'm wondering, when you get so used to throughout the season, you're hunting for threes. The three is the easy way out. Now, it's a smart shot, obviously, because it's worth 3 points. But it's kind of the easy way out, and that's their whole strategy. Penetrate to kick it out for an open three.
Yep.
Other guys spotting up. And even if it's a bit contested, it's still, you're just, like, there's a viral clip you guys may have seen. Michael Jordan talking, remember after he hit all those threes in the finals game? And he was saying, I don't want to become like a great three-point shooter because it would take away from other elements of my game. They don't seem as comfortable when you really got to get some real resistance in trying to create a mid-range shots. He got the matchup he wanted, right? You wanted Mitchell Robinson. He loses his dribble. He dribbles in the three Knicks. It's almost, I feel like instinctively, he kind of wanted to step back and take the three because that's what he's done all year.
Been, by the way, that would have been a better shot than what he got.
It would have been a better shot. But ideally, it looks like he could have got to a mid-range 16-footer, like kind of straight on around the foul line, and he just was lost. And so, look, there's a lot of blame to go around. Nick was right. Like Mazzulla with the hack of Mitchell, fouling Mitchell Robinson, putting him in the bonus was bad. Jaylen Brown, 3 points in the second half, none in the fourth quarter. He wasn't good. But you're the best player, Jayson Tatum. You're the guy who said he wants to be the MVP, right? You're the guy that this season was supposed to be about showing that you are indeed a playoff performer and winning finals MVP, right? You're the guy that's going to be first team All-NBA. So when your team doesn't perform, it is ultimately on you. A lot of blame to go around, but ultimately, Jayson Tatum more than anybody has to wear this loss.
Yeah, and listen, he's obviously shook. Unlike game one, he can't, don't get mad at me, Wilds, even slightly blame the officiating for the game. 2 years ago, he was a bad playoff three-point shooter. And since then, in the two postseasons since then, he's been the worst high-volume playoff three-point shooter. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I guess second worst. My apologies. Jaylen Brown, by the way, right there, too. And I didn't include his Olympics in the postseason when he went 0 from 3 because that's international play. Jayson Tatum this year, here's one you'll like, Brew. There have been 23 total seasons, almost like a third of them are by Steph. Individual player seasons where you shot 10 or more threes a game. The only three-point percentage worse than Tatum this year in those 23 seasons was LaMelo this year. Another one of Wild's favorite guys. And this is why I patently and utterly have refused and will continue to refuse. I don't care if the Celtics come back and win the championship. I care if they do, but not in this regard. the nonsense that, well, we just have to accept the conversation that Jayson Tatum might be the best player in the league. He's not. That we have to start. Here's what he is, KW. You'll love this, and by love this, I mean you'll hate it. Jayson Tatum is the Kobe Bryant of Paul George's. Let it. Oh, they put a bar
I gotta
up.
think about
Jayson
that.
Tatum is the Kobe. He's the best.
The best Paul George?
The best Paul George I've seen. I know you hate it, but he wants to be Kobe. He's
better than Paul
That's
George.
why I said that's why he's
okay,
Kobe
so
Bryant.
He's the Kobe Bryant.
He's the
of
Kobe
Paul
Bryant.
George's.
He's the Kobe Bryant of Paul George's, and up to and including. I don't really trust you. I am dunking on LeBron, and I don't trust you with the game on the line. Sorry, Gatorade commercial or not. And the play where I will give you credit, because, Brew, I FaceTimed Wilds after the game.
Wasn't great.
I also tried to record it, but I think iPhone guards against surreptitious recording, so we don't have the audio. We just have the video. But the play that you tweeted about Wilds is an embodiment of my problems with Tatum and Brew's problems with the Celtics. This is a bad decision if you're the team trailing by 7.
I agree.
It is an abominable decision up by 7. Now, technically, they were up by 6, but they didn't know that because they fixed the score. If Jalen Brunson is upright, you should still go to the rim.
Right.
If he's prone on all fours, I'm thinking you probably can go get a layup and get up 9 points.
And he did.
And to your point, that's not just on Tatum. I think that's
so?
more on their. Well, I think that's their philosophy. I'm not saying he shouldn't. Sometimes you just got to break it. You're the best player. You can do what you want. But that's their philosophy.
Show the next play does.
That's what they coach.
In Brews,
I bet you in film, if he had gone to the rack in the film session the next day or whatever, they would have said, "Take that."
And by the way, to Brews' point, here's the very next possession. Jalen Brunson's got a runway to the rim. He got the switch he wanted. There's nobody there. Jalen Brown, Brunson on him. He's got a runway to the rim. He takes it 3. It's just bad basketball. It's bad basketball, KW.
You guys ever seen a movie? A movie with a hero in it?
Yeah.
You know
I've seen one, Superman. Jayson Tatum's in that commercial these days. Yeah,
It's ironic that commercial's running.
They have that. They should have a Brunson version ready to go.
You know who else had a commercial come out about hitting game-winning shots the same postseason he missed game-winning shots? Paul George. Okay. You remember?
No one remembers Paul George's commercial.
But go ahead. He did.
So we've established that you've seen a movie with a superhero.
Yeah.
This is the low point.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The Celtics were 25 for 100 from 3. If they went 27 for 100 from 3, they are up 2-0.
In theory.
I don't know that I
theory.
yeah.
Butterfly flaps its wings.
things
we
happen, right. But
know
in
how
theory,
it goes. Jayson Tatum in the fourth quarter, this is last night, 6 points, 1 for 12, 0 for 7 from 3. No, these are the last two.
Last 6 points last night. They'd have loved it.
He's been terrible. Coming into this series, are the Magic better defensive team than the Knicks?
Maybe.
They are.
I think they are.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
And in the playoffs, they were. They couldn't. They didn't let the Celtics shoot threes. Tatum had hurt his wrist his last 3 games against the Magic, 36, 37, 35.
Yeah.
I fully expect Jayson Tatum to come out of this little dip that he's on and play.
Yeah, of course he's going to. Of course.
That's all. Yes, the loss is on him. It should be on him.
No.
But I would not write the Celtics obituary.
Okay, listen.
Are you right? You sound
right
like you're
now.
writing
My pick would be the Knicks. Right now, this moment, I would pick the Knicks. Am I saying it's done? No, I don't think it's done. But I also think, and this is something you got mad at me for yesterday, but I think we'll all remember this the same. As confidently as you expect that, yesterday at the end of the show, when I didn't even pick the Knicks, I just said, we saw the line was 10.5. I said, I think the Knicks can keep it close. You said blowout city.
Yeah.
Everything you expected.
I meant the Thunder.
Okay. Everything you expected, that we all kind of expected, the way the Thunder game looked.
Yes.
To be the early game. Not necessarily a 50-point game, but where it
and
was.
it was that.
Well, that's the other. So that's the other thing I want to ask you before we go to the Knicks. And the reason I don't necessarily buy that, well, if they had just made 2 more. They were up 20 late in both of these games. They were up 14 with 7 minutes left in this game. It is not, it's not as if they were shooting hot and then missed 14 in a row. Despite the cold shooting, they're building these big leads.
Yeah.
And in the moment that the Knicks see a glimmer of life, their best guy, even when he's not playing well, and he wasn't good yesterday until the end, their best guy's like, I've got this, and they play with confidence, and they play smart, and they play tough.
The Celtics are choking. That's what's going on.
Here's that I think is fair. I think optimistically he's going to come back. If he doesn't play well in Game 3, Brew, I feel like all the goodwill that he has from not even really the finals, because he didn't play great in the finals, but really from the Milwaukee game.
From a few years
4 years ago?
47 or whatever.
But that feels like, hey, what is your defining playoff moment?
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's the
Game 6 against Giannis.
And
they
didn't win the championship. So even though he wasn't MVP, he helped them win the championship.
But he played.
He wasn't terrible. I actually thought he should have been MVP, but he wasn't. He led them in points, rebound, assists. But I hear what you're saying. This will be a huge ding on Jayson Tatum if he doesn't. If they lose this series.
And we also will, last year, when you believed in the Nuggets, but you also, in the East, believed the Celtics were building a historic season.
Yeah.
And Brew and I both said, like, you kept asking us, what do the 2024 Celtics have to do to be considered an all-time great team? And Brew and I both said, depends on what they do in 2025. Yeah. Remember, like, that they have to back it up. So if they were to, come back from this, run roughshod, win the title, it validates everything. The flip side, though, is this. Round 1, Jimmy Butler didn't play.
Oh, this is absurd.
I wouldn't say it doesn't diminish their championship.
We can do that to
Do you think it diminishes their championship?
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, because everybody
hold on.
has gone through.
Can I just say something real quick? You certainly, not only can you not do it to every team, you can't find 5 teams in NBA history who every single one of their opponents en route to the finals didn't have their best player. Their best player, all 3 series, you can't find it.
The Dallas had their best player.
No. I said en route to the finals.
I know, but I'm just that's not fair. That's not right. We taking away Toronto's title because Durant got hurt?
No, but I am not taking. I'm not taking.
I do think about that one.
Yeah,
but I'm saying we can go throughout history and see a lot of teams where
I understand
injuries played a factor.
All of that. The point that I am trying to make is if this year Boston had the opportunity, and we all said it, to put a brighter shine on their accomplishment last year, if they get clocked in round 2 by a team that going into the playoffs, no one, and that's what we're about to talk to, believed in, then I do think, fair or not, people will say, as I was trying to, so round 1, Jimmy doesn't play, and in round 2, Donovan Mitchell misses half the series, and in round 3, Tyrese Halliburton doesn't play. And did we overrate the Celtics? That's
quickly what I'll say on that. I don't care if they come back and win this championship. They're not an all-time great team. To me, it takes more than back-to-back champion. I mean, how deep are we going?
Sure.
Because there's been 3-peats, and I mean, Tatum is going to be a Hall of Famer, so will Jaylen Brown, but those guys aren't like Pantheon-level players.
Correct.
I don't think this team is better, even though they will have won back-to-backs if they win it, better than the Bird Celtics in '86?
Of course not.
No, but they will have won back. So I'm just saying the analytics guys are going to look at their numbers. Oh, my gosh. All of that's impacted by the 3-point shot. So I'm not buying into that. But if you look, I'm not writing them off. I'm just saying they are not like an all-time top 5 great team, even if they win this championship.
They haven't even won a game.
Yeah. Right. Let's get past the Knicks first.
Where are we going? Meanwhile, the Knicks are undefeated on the road in this playoffs, and everything has been close. 6 straight games decided by 3 points or fewer. Did everyone underestimate the Knicks?
Absolutely. And I mean everyone. I see pundits on TV talking about, I thought it could go 7.
Yeah.
Did anybody pick the Knicks? I don't see everybody, but everybody I
know
saw.
One.
Who?
Ramsey Perro.
Ramsey.
Who was at the game
I see anybody on television, hear anybody on radio picking the Knicks. But you know what? With good reason.
Yeah.
They were 0-8 against the Cavs and the Celtics, all right? They struggled mightily against Detroit, which was just kind of happy to be there. In first playoffs in years, very young team. And so we all did underestimate the Knicks. They got blown out by the Celtics throughout the regular season. So that was fair. They came in as one of the worst three-point defensive teams in the league, and Boston obviously is the most prolific three-point shooting team. There was no reason to believe the Knicks would even get it to 7, maybe even 6, and coming into this series. But Josh Hart is right. They got room to grow because Brunson hasn't really played. He was 6 for 19 last night, 36% shooting in the series. They're a great switch they made. Thibodeau now is switching on all the pick and rolls with his bigs even, and that's been anathema to him throughout his career. It's always been toughen up, don't switch, you know, stay on your man, and that gives the shooters a little room, little space to get a 3 off. He's changed that, and now one thing we have said, and I said it before the series started, you said it yesterday and maybe last week too, on paper,
they should match up great.
Yeah, we were not even just I don't know how the matchup, but on paper, they should be an elite team.
Yes.
You got 2 legitimate stars, 1 small, 1 big. You got 3 very good role players. Yeah. You got a very good coach in Thibodeau. There is no reason they shouldn't be on the level of the Celtics. So now they're kind of putting it together, so good for them.
Listen, I think the Knicks were fairly evaluated based on their struggles against good teams. I don't think people were unfair. I don't think they were selling them short. I think what they have done up to this point in the postseason is, and I'm going to say 2 things here that are going to feel prisoner of the moment-y, but one is just historical fact, and the other is just what I truly believe. The first one is this. What they have done this postseason on the road is historic. We've seen a lot of teams, mostly the great teams, start 5-0 on the road in the postseason. We have never seen a team start 5-0 on the road in the postseason with a point differential of 10. Yeah. They have won those 5 road games by 3, 2, 1, and 1. That's their margins, and one of those 3-pointers was in overtime. So they really won that by a half point by my math because it was tied at the end of regulation. So I know that sounds like we're overreacting. We've never seen something like that. We've never seen a team down 20 in consecutive second halves storm back in both cases, particularly a team that is the decided underdog and on the road. And then this is the other thing I'm going to say that's going to sound, overreaction. But right now, this moment, if I were offered even money, and you can get better than that actually, on all 4 teams left in the East, I'll pick them to make the finals. The Cavs are banged up terribly.
Right. They're up 2-0.
They're right.
They got to. That's what I mean? The thing about New York. You got to be feeling great.
I feel like
if we win this series, Indiana or Cleveland, they should.
And Indiana, they played in 7 last year. It was a different team. Right. Brunson got hurt. OG didn't play. Randall was out for the series. Now he's not on the team anymore. But now you have Karl-Anthony Towns, and it was a game 7. Right. And so I think the underrated factor though about this series, and this is the point that I tried to hammer home going into game 1 about the stakes of it when you were on jury duty about why it was a must-win. Just like Tim Connolly went from Denver to Minnesota and did not initially, in my opinion, build a team like we are building a team to win the championship. He said the only way we have a chance to win the championship is when we beat Denver. I'm going to build a team to beat Denver. The Knicks management over the last 15 months said, we are building a team for this series. We are trading for OG Anunoby so he can guard Jayson Tatum. We're trading for Mikal Bridges so he can guard Jaylen Brown. We are breaking up the Villanova guys and moving on from Randall because we need another offensive. We need a 7-footer who can shoot threes like they have in Kristaps. And a guy, they built a team. The Celtics built a team to win the championship. The Knicks built a team to beat Boston.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you're seeing that play out right now, and the margins are this thin, but that's what they've been able to do.
Out of 90 games the Knicks played, their worst offensive performance last night.
That's the other part of it. Like, what happens when the Knicks start playing?
Right,
well?
everybody's talking about the Celtics hitting shots. What about when the Knicks start hitting shots?
Yeah, when Jalen Brunson doesn't.
So we'll see. I'm not counting the Celtics out, but
right now, though,
I think the Celtics are going to win.
No, I mean, we're going to talk about it later, but I would slightly, choose now, I'd slightly give it to the Knicks. Who's going to win the series?
What about you?
I think the Celtics are going to win.
The championship, right?
I just feel like, and I know we joke around about your gambling proclivities, but when you see so many statistics like, oh, Jayson Tatum's having the 2 worst games of his career, they set the record for worst threes. Do we have time? Oh, we're going to go to break. The shots are not contested threes.
So can I tell you something about the second spectrum numbers?
Wide open threes that are being missed. The Knicks aren't doing anything on defense.
I totally disagree with that, and I think the numbers are wildly misleading when they're saying they have said that then in that first game when they shot 63s, the second spectrum number said 4 of those 60 were contested. That is incorrect.
I don't buy that.
That's
you know what I mean? Like that.
But even in your example, Jaylen Brown,
those two were wide open.
Jayson Tatum, corner 3, easiest 3-pointer on the court.
No. Those 2 I know were wide open, but I do think the Knicks are making them. One of the reason shots can be open or even wide open is because they're rushed. Because a guy is flying out at you.
I'll buy that, but I feel like Knicks fans are a little bit more over the moon than Knicks players because they're like, oh, we haven't played well offensively at all.
True.
And defensively, we're kind of getting lucky.
But it's not a best of 17.
The question,
it's a best of 7, and they're halfway there.
Celtics mentality.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.